And what I see a lot of now in modern times, because everybody has, well, most people have technology to do pretty much anything. I see a lot of people who are like friends and stuff, and other random people I talk to, and they'll say, I had this idea, I want to do this, but they're doing it already. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, but why does that make you not want to do it? Mm. Like musicians don't think like that. No. A musician doesn't think, okay, this guy plays guitar, I'm not going to play guitar.
There's already a guitar player in the world, right?
Yeah, you don't, I sit and think about it, I know people that want to make podcasts on certain things. They'll be like, this person already has one and they're doing really well. I'm like, well, the thing is that you're not that person. You have a different story, a different approach. No one will tell that in the same way that you can tell it. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, there's more people doing things. That also means that there's more audience, mm-hmm. because more people have the devices, so more people can access YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, podcasts, everything. So and your audience is not it's not exclusive. It doesn't mean if I started a podcast and I have 100 fans, mm-hmm. that those 100 fans aren't going to listen to another podcast, mm-hmm. as well. If that person is doing something you want to do and they've got a big audience, mm-hmm. that could actually be a good benefit as well, because then that there's a big audience out there that is interested in that subject. Mm-hmm. So you could start it up, do the same thing. Well, it won't be the same thing. That's the thing. It might be along a similar topic or a similar theme or a similar genre. Mm-hmm. And that audience might want to listen to yours for a different reason. You might tell something in a different way. Mm-hmm. And I see a lot of people doing this. They get disheartened by, so many people might be doing this, they might want to be an influencer. And I've seen there's loads of sports influencers already. And it's like, well, yes, but if that's something you want to do, mm-hmm. then do it, because your audience will be your audience. The way you'll tell something will be different. Mm-hmm. That's the thing we have to also embrace. We are all individuals. We are living in an era where pretty much anyone can, start up anything on their mobile phone.
Right.
And I think that's great.
This is the part that people need to understand, I think, is that when you're talking about the idea of doing a podcast, how could you possibly lose?
Yeah.
You can't lose. All you have to do is try it. You can only win. You know what I mean? No one, it's not like, I need to spend, $6,000 to get the studio and insulate the room and have a mic and all. If you want to do the podcast, and then then you'll know if you can, if you don't quit, if you don't quit too soon or whatever, you'll know if it can be done. And for me, I'll do things, and if it's not working, I'll still do it. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't hurt me to not do it. I mean, it actually hurts me to not do it, because I don't want to feel like because all you do is get older, and it's like, I had a good idea and I could have, you know what I mean? You don't want to have those kinds of thoughts once you get older or whatever, you know what I mean? And so
and it's like you say, you put it well. You how can you lose? You could literally, someone can start a podcast right now on their mobile phone. Mm-hmm. You can record the audio. If you've got an iPhone, you can record the audio on the voice recording thing. You can put on a headset like we are, and you can record the audio. You can, it's like, how can you lose if it's something you really want to do? I think the problem is people, again, it comes back to this thing of we can measure things in real time. So I think people get in their mind of, I want to do this because I want it to get 1 million views per episode. Mm-hmm. So then they're scared of, it won't get 1 million views, or they try it and it only gets 50 views the first time.
Right.
They don't understand that, and often you're going to be getting 50 views for the first couple of years,
And
or you might get a hit. It's one of them might pop off for some reason, or someone might repost it and it gets 100,000 views. Like we don't know.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And okay.
I was gonna say that's, I think, and we have to always remember that when we're going create something, just create it for the reason you want to create it. We can't create things thinking, how is it going to be received? Like, you just got to create for the reason you want to create it. We can't create and then think. You can't adjust your creativity based upon how many views is it going to get.
Right.
You just got to create for the reason, why you want to create.
Yes, you make it, and then the audience finds you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or you have to make it easy. Do your best to make it easier for them to find you. But instead of chasing the audience, let the audience do what you do, and then let the audience find you. And maybe you're that missing thing that people have been looking for. You know? And also and one other thing, when it comes to the comparisons of other people, you can't look at where people are, you have to look at where they started. You compare yourself to where they started.
Yes.
And then, you know what I mean? Because you can look at people and say, okay, I see their blueprint. They did this, they got to this point, and they did this. And then, if this wasn't working, then they switched to this, and you know what I mean? And then you can, adjust that blueprint to what would work for you. But, but you gotta want to do it, and that's where the intention comes in. I don't really think that I don't even. It's so hard to me. It's just so hard to. I was gonna say it's so hard to fail, but I fail very often. But it doesn't even feel like failure because I'm so used to. You know what I mean?
Okay.
This because it's just part of the process. You know what I mean? Like if we were to go by our first 2 records that we made, the first record we made, we overpressed. We made way too many copies, and even if we would have made 1/10 of the copies that we pressed, we still wouldn't have even sold those. You know what I mean? It was these went in the trash. You know what I mean? They didn't even, unfortunately, they didn't get recycled. But so, but this is just part of it. You know what I mean? We're like, okay, well, now we got to figure out what we did wrong, and then figure out how to, make it work. And it wasn't until the 3rd record that things started really going in the right direction. But then after that, my life personally was changed after this 3rd record. You know what I mean? So it's and the effects of that are still going on to this day. Over close to 25 years later. But I could have, if I would have stopped at that first record, I don't know what would have happened. But the thing is we're at a place where you don't have to worry about that level of investment even. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I'm gonna speak about privilege again. It's just you think about what people did with less.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have so much to work with, and you just got to do it, man. This is
definitely,
you know what I mean. I'm getting all excited thinking about it. You know what I mean? I really wish more people had that kind of thought process, because you know what I mean.
I do understand. I understand fear. Like people, I think all it is, it's the fear. Like that's all. That's what stops people from doing things. Like we are working with technology in a way that we're in it's like when you really think about it, we're in like an era where it's like unbelievable when we think about some of the things we can do. Like I could make a song right now and upload it and get it on iTunes by next week, say. You know, maybe even by tomorrow if you pay certain charges to the distributor to push them through it faster. And it's like, when you think about how mind-blowing that is, when you think not even 10 years ago, you still had to press up records, you know, give them to DJs, pay £25 for a dub plate, which you got to give on a special, see if that gets a little buzz. If that gets a little buzz, then you can put up, you know, pay £1,000 or something to get some pressed. But you got to wait 6 weeks for all them vinyls to come back to you. You got to hope the buzz is still there. Then you got to go drive around to the record shops, put these in the record shops. And even before that, it was even harder. Like 10 years ago, there was internet. You still had to press up vinyls, but there was internet. You know, and you think about now, and then you think about like even movies. There's people that could make a movie right now. And I think about movies used to be something where it was like, you didn't wake up one day and think, I can make a movie today. Like you needed big cameras, big money, big crew. Like the investment was crazy. But now, like people, you know, there's movies on Netflix that people have made on iPhones, you know, that have had distribution by Netflix. You know, it's like, I think the thing that stops people is fear. It's the fear of failure, because we live in a time again where we're so used to measuring the numbers. We're so used to looking at the numbers, watching the view counts, watching the stream counts, you know. But I think it's fear, which I do understand. I do understand fear. I do understand, you know, you make something, you put yourself out there. If it fails, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good, but it's like it's a weird thing, because you actually haven't lost anything.
No.
I think you've gained more, but it's like this fear of failure, it can take hold of your brain, and like it can stop you from doing so much. This fear of failure. It is. I do understand that fear, but it's like I listened to this motivational speaker called Les Brown. He's my favorite motivational speaker, and one of the things he says, which really makes me laugh, but also makes me really think about things, is he says, like, do you know where are most of the ideas? Do you know where most of the ideas are? They're in the graveyard. There's more ideas in the graveyard than there is out there. So many people died with so many ideas that they didn't do. They didn't do it. So many plans they had, so many wishes they had, they just didn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, there's the you know, that's where most of the ideas are kept. They're in the graveyard. Yes. You know, and I think like we just the fear of failure, I do understand it. I've got a few projects which I've not done, and it's reminding me that I need to get back onto some of these projects. It's reminding me why I wanted to do these projects. Like there was why I have some short movies on like mental health I wanted to do, and there was a clear why I wanted to do those. I had some podcast ideas on like veganism, but I'm actually still trying to work out the format because I'm not sure if I actually want it to be about veganism, or do I want it to be about veganism, or do I want it to be just more about good people just doing good lifestyles that have benefits. I'm trying to have good benefits, and I'm still trying to work out that. But then the principle is the same. I'm like, I just need to do it and start, and I'll work that out.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, because you have to remember what you were saying about time.
Yeah.
Because time is passing while you, you know what I mean? Time is passing while you're thinking about like how you're going to do it. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes the path only becomes clear once you start walking. You know what I mean? Like.